this morning, supposed to be at this pack that we got fucking Jumex.
Jumex, wow.
Yeah.
That's from your era too.
Yeah, bro. Well, Jumex was okay. So Jumex was like a little bit, I guess, past when I was already like in college, and I kind of stopped listening to that music. But I was real, bro. It's because you don't understand. Like, oh, by the way, we're back. Intermission. But
What were we talking about?
I was talking about how I wanted to try that jelly soup.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I remember you guys were talking about it Disconnected, and I had seen Housephone make a comment like, you got to put a North Face jacket on that soup, and that shit made me die. And ever since then, I've always wanted to do that. We want to get Housephone on here.
Honestly, bro, it's not like I don't think I've ever tried it, but like I can only imagine the flavor. I don't think it's gross. Like, and the way you're supposed to eat is like you're supposed to put like horseradish on it,
Yeah.
or like some spicy shit, like make it a little spicy. But I don't know how to explain it. So basically, like when you cook chicken or whatever it is, like there's fat that comes off it, and it gelatinizes and like becomes all jelly and shit. So they'll take that liquid that becomes fat, and they'll put egg in it and like other vegetables and a bunch of other stuff, and they make like a whole kind of like cake that like becomes solid, and then you just cut into pieces and you eat it like that.
It sounds
I'm not
good.
a fan.
It sounds like savory. I don't know. It sounds
Probably
good,
is.
yeah.
Shit, I'd be down. Like, yeah, let's do it, man. I'll bring some.
Bro, that'd be so lit. We gotta do that we gotta try it on the channel.
That'd be sick.
But bro, how's it been doing Reconnected though? Love it, bro. Love the show. Like, how's that been?
It's been sick. It's cool that like, you know, we still stick to it. Like, it's also like, honestly, sometimes I really think like, bro, if it wasn't for like Reconnected, I feel like we would be a little disconnected. You know what I mean? Like we wouldn't like talk as much or whatever it is. Like like, you know, with Housephone and Blazzy, it's like I don't really like talk to them through, like, we talk a little bit, you know, here and there in the group chat and stuff like that, but we're not really hanging out with one another, kicking it, all that stuff. They're like, Blazzy's busy doing his own thing, Housephone's doing his own thing, and like I'm streaming all the time. Like the person I really like, you know, probably hang out with and kick it the most with is like Potlord, but I'm really glad we still do Reconnected because like it brings us together every time, and every time I feel like we have a good conversation.
I think that's fun. Yeah, I think it's really dope because like, so out of the no jumper like little universe that you guys had like over the last like year and a half or so, I could speak for me and him. We were Disconnected fans. We literally watched Disconnected every single week. That was our favorite show. I remember when we met Blazzy, bro, I was literally telling him like, bro, Blazzy would watch you every week. It was so
this
lit,
was
bro.
tripping when we met Blazzy.
Man, it was so fun because you guys had like that energy, like the youthful energy. I feel like a lot of the other shit was either too hood or too like old, like
just for you to relate with personally.
Yeah. So you guys were like the youngest ones on there, so like I related to it a lot, and that's why I really liked your guys' show. And I guess like do you feel like that's gonna for the biggest bros, do you guys plan to do more stuff than just like the Reconnected podcast?
Yeah, we do. And that's like just like the more difficult part, which is like you know, with and we've talked about in Reconnected where even when we were doing Disconnected, right? Blazzy was coming in, you know, once a week to do it, and he was like dedicated, and he still is dedicated to do that once a week thing.
He was very dedicated,
and he's like, and he's been always open about this, where he's like, he has a whole like fashion empire that he's running right now with like, you know, people he's working with and designs he's got to do, and like not employees, but like, you know, designers that he like works with constantly in the same office and shit. So he has this whole thing that he's already committed to. So he's always said like, I can do the once a week thing, but I can't commit to, you know, doing, you know, basically what No Jumper is doing, or like, you know, what a Back on Fig is doing, or Figmunity is doing, which is like the clips, the additional content, all that stuff. It requires everyone to be super fully invested into that thing. Where as for all of us, like, you know, Blazzy's working on his thing, Housephone has the shoe brand and all that stuff, but he said he is down to do like more streaming content. I'm like busy with my streams. I would love to do more streams with, you know, on the Biggest Bros channel as well, but it's like I gotta, you know, work on my stuff as well, and like, you know, help build that stuff. That's also one of the reasons why like I left No Jumper full time to begin with, was to focus more on my shit. So it becomes this thing where like we don't have the time to fully invest to like provide the additional content and all that stuff, and that's why we're always super thankful to the loyal fans that still watch to this day, because it's crazy. Like to this day we still have like, you know, minimum around 40 to 50,000 views of people who like come through every week and they want to watch that shit. So shout out to all of them.
Shout out to Biggest Bros.
That's the Biggest Bros.
Speaking of Biggest Bros, tell us how you met each member, bro.
Yeah, I want to know that.
I want
How'd
the
you meet
origin
everybody?
stories. You know what I mean? Curious.
Okay, so Housephone I met first, and that was just like I was interning at No Jumper, and he would just always come in. And with Housephone, it was funny because I literally every time I met him, he was doing this like genuine cool thing where he was like, "Yo, what's up, man? Like, what's going on? Like, what's your name?" I'd be like, "Yuriy." He's like, "Oh man, what's up, man? My name's Housephone." Blah blah. It felt like cool, like we just became friends, right? The next day, I'd come in. I would like be like, kick in there. I'd be like, I'd see him be like, "Yo, what up?" He'd be like, "Yo, what's up? What's your name?" And I'd be like, "Bro." And he did that to me like 40 times. I'm not even joking, bro. He did that to me like 40 times until bro, until so many times later, I was like, "Yo, dude, like, I've introduced myself so many times to you, man." But it was like we kind of just became friends through No Jumper.
It's because, dude, I could literally tell, like, oh, sorry, go ahead. I'm gonna say this after, but go ahead and tell the other people.
Yeah, that's how I met Housephone, and then like ever since I was like working at No Jumper, it's like I was a part of like a lot of the content where I was like just either listening to it live or listening to it later, and Housephone would always be bringing up Blazzy like all the time about like designs, shared designs, and all that stuff. He always brought up his name, and then one day I forgot exactly what day it was, but like one day I went to like Blazzy's apartment and I met him for the first time, and then like we just kind of like connected on Ice Poseidon because he was like, "Yo, dude, like you watch it wasn't exactly like that, but we both figured out we watched Ice." And then I was like, "Oh, really? Like, do you know about this?" And then, bro, he has like, Ice had this whole lore at the time of all this crazy, stupid shit that happened that you wouldn't really know about unless you were keeping up with the content. So me and him just had this whole conversation about streaming and all that stuff. And I was like, he told me he was like dropping like $500 a month on TTS donations at a certain point. I was like, Jesus Christ, dude. But yeah, we connected on that. And then ever since then, we kind of like became friends and, would just see each other through certain situations or and then became No Jumper with the Disconnected. And then Potlord, apparently Potlord told me that when he lived in Switzerland, he would hit me up on Instagram and we would talk and I would be helping him with like certain computer stuff. I don't remember that stuff at all, dude. I would have to like go back to my old DMs with him and like check those because I don't remember that at all. But apparently he said we were talking since then. But then when he came back from Switzerland, I was doing the No Jumper listening to music streams with Housephone, and he would always bring Potlord and Allison, his wife, and Riley would be there, and then like that's how we met each other. It was like basically through the listening to music streams in person.
That's dope.
Yeah,
that's dope. Toke was here not too long ago, I think.
Oh, really? Shout out to Potlord.
Yeah, shout out to Potlord. Where does his name Toke and Potlord come from?
He told me that, fuck, dude, I forgot. Oh, he said that it comes from an Instagram handle that he wanted to get Pot God or something like that. He wanted to get like something. He wanted to get something else, and then he said that the Potlord was all that was available, and then he got it. And now with Instagram handles, now the Instagram's been around for so long, it's kind of like rare to have just a short and sweet fucking IG handle like that, Potlord. A lot of people could probably come up with it as well. A lot of potheads could probably just think of that and want that. So he came up with like kind of like a very wanted Instagram handle.
But he's like primarily Toke. When you call him,
I call him both. I always go like switch between Potlord and Toke. I never just say one.
Yeah.